What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to Closing Open Wounds. This is your cousin, Cleisha, and I am pissed off, y'all. I am so pissed off. If you have been following me, I did a video entitled Come Home. It was inspired by God telling me to call somebody and pray for them, and God wanted to tell them, like, you've been playing around long enough, like it's time to come home. He didn't, the Lord didn't gave us time to, and he's been very patient with us and, us finding our way. And I remember I was in the hotel getting ready for work. Y'all know I travel for work. So I was getting ready and God just kept putting this person on my mind. I'm like, all right, all right, all right. Even when I get up in the morning, I listen to sermons. So I'm listening to a sermon, and the preacher had mentioned the person's name. So I said, all right, all right, all right, Lord. Okay. This is crazy. I'm trying to get ready for work. So I didn't even have the person's phone number. So I had to call another family member to get the number and to tell them what thus saved the Lord. And we had a nice conversation, and it seemed like that they received the word. And I'm just like, listen, God is saying, you need to come home. I was trying to say it in a nice way. And I remember the person like, dang, Cleese, you ain't even call me for nothing really nice. You just calling me with the word, right? And I like, look, prophets come with some words, okay? It's not always shine rainbows. Like, I'm trying to give it to you as nice as I can, but God is not playing. So let's pause right there. So yesterday, I was riding in my truck. I don't know where I was going. And I heard in my spirit, I felt, God will sit you down. Don't, basically like, don't let God have to humble you. Humble yourself before God humbles you. So I'm like, oh Lord, let me make sure, I'm humble. And like, Lord, if I'm checking myself, like, is it something that I did or whatever like that? And so I said, okay, I'm going to do a video about that, just making sure we stay humble and that we read the signs, because we don't want God to have to sit us down. All right. So that happened. Now I get a freaking phone call today, y'all. This is why I'm pissed off. I'm sorry. Y'all know y'all my cousins. So I got to vent to y'all, right? And this is all relative. I'm over here minding my business. I get a phone call. Why the person that I talked to, y'all, got locked up? Not putting nobody's business out or nothing like that. But I'm telling you, please listen and look at the signs that God is giving you to get on the right track. No, nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes and we are all trying to find our way. God understands that. But when God is blatantly putting stuff in front of you, the same stuff in front of you, in front of you, in front of you, and you're not listening, he will sit you down. He will close your opportunities. He will narrow your path so bad that you only have him to call on, because God is a jealous God and he loves you. He's got that type of love that he's going to chase you because he loves you. I think about my child. My child is doing the wrong thing. I'm going to be on my child because I love them. Like, yeah, I was tough on my boys or whatever like that, you know what I mean? But they're better for it. So, I equate that to our relationship with the Father. He's a good father. He loves us. He chastises us. That's what a good parent does. Right? So now I'm sitting here, y'all, and it's all making sense why it was already put in my spirit to do this video, and then to hear that the person that I ministered to a few weeks ago is sat down. And, when I found out, I'm like, are you serious? But I'm like, you know what? Sorry to say, but good. Because if that's the way God got to get your attention, sometimes, he will sit you down to save your life. Sometimes you will get locked up because you will be out here and you will get hurt or, God forbid, murdered or whatever. So, prison is not always a bad thing, or getting locked up is not always a bad thing. It's a consequence to your actions. And I'm so hurt. And, and this is the message that God was already preparing me for. I didn't know what this was for, and now I know. So now I'm sitting in my bed at 11 o'clock at night, and I got to record this. So here we go again. To whom this is for. And this is not just for something bad, somebody out here doing stuff and they getting locked up. This is not just being locked up. This is not that consequence. You could be doing good at your job. You could be doing good in other avenues, in other areas. You could be getting promotions. You could be getting offers. You could be a freelancer. You could be blessed and highly favored in many different ventures and areas in your life. But if God's trying to get your attention, He will dry it up. He can do that. Y'all know that, right? If you're not paying attention to the signs, like y'all, there is stuff in my personal life. You know what I mean? Like God is dealing with me personally about me and my emotions and how I handle things and how to be better. Y'all know I've been married a few times, right? So God consistently is having me before me. Now, it was justified why I'm not married. Don't get it twisted like a top on a mystic. Okay. Like your girl left for a good reason. And anyone who really knows my story, they know that I have all rights and had all rights to leave. However, there's still work that I need to do for my future husband, right? Because your girl going to get married again. And it's not even something that I necessarily want. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've said this on this channel before. I don't even know how did we get here. Anyway, I'm rambling, y'all, but you're my cousin, so just say it. You ain't doing that anyway. So I remember when I was getting divorced, and I think my divorce was just finalized, or I was in process of finalizing my last divorce. And I remember my pastor freaking called me up because he a prophet. He calls me up and he prophesied that I was going to get married again. Y'all, I fell out on the floor. You would have thought he stabbed me. Because I was like, no. Like, I just did not. I just didn't. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to go through this no more. I am tired of giving my love, my attention, everything, into my marriage, into being a good wife, to the best of my ability, dealing with the hand that I was dealt with, because I'm dealing with my demons. Then I got to deal with they demons because they have unhealed trauma, don't want to go counseling, whatever. Anyway, so it's not necessarily that I'm so gung-ho about getting married, but I know I'm going to get married again because that's a promise that God said that my last marriage would be a marriage where I will finally know how it is to be loved. Like I will finally have a proper covering, right? So now that God has told me that, and this has been about this word was about 2 years ago. So now that God has told me that I was going to get married again, and even though I was very reluctant, there's stuff that I got to do. And it's stuff that comes up, and God is saying, okay, you still got to watch this, Cleisha. Oh, you better watch that. Oh, watch your attitude. Oh, watch your mouth, or how are you, how do you talk to a man? How do you do this? I got sons, what I mean? I had to change how I talked to my sons when they became of age because they are men, what I mean? Stuff like that. So God is continuously working on me. He's continually working on all of us, but we have to look at the signs. I don't want God to have to beat me upside my head for me to realize, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Especially if a prophet or somebody come and give you a word that they didn't even know, they don't know nothing about your current situation, and it is actually accurate. So I don't know who this is for, but please look at the signs. Look at the signs. If God told you you're not supposed to be in that relationship, if he says this is not it, or he has better for you, or y'all are constantly arguing, or things ain't working out, and God's been telling you no, 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 and you still trying to work it out, look at the signs. And this is why people hurt us so bad, and they got to do something so horrible where you got to burn the bridge. So you're not even going back over there, because they just did you so wrong. Why? Because we didn't look at the signs. I'm a witness. This ain't no judgment because your girl been there. Where the sign after sign after sign that this is not the person for you, little girl. And you just keep on trying. And I just kept on trying until they did the unthinkable. And I want to say most unforgivable, but I forgive them, but we ain't never. You ain't don't it will never be. But sometimes God will break your heart to save your life. Are you in an unhealthy relationship? Are you at a job where God, you didn't got complacent at the job? You don't want to put in for, the advancement or the promotion, or you don't want to apply over here because you comfortable. I've been here for 10 years. So, you don't know what God has for you. What are we doing that's in disobedience where God is going to have to sit on us for us to realize where we need to go? What are we doing? Like, stop it. Like, it's really crazy. I pray every day, and no lie, yo. I talk to God like I'm talking to y'all right now. Like, Lord, I just want to be right. I just want to be, a good person. I want to be a good Christian. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things I want to walk right and talk right. I want to, you know, I want to be my best self. You know what I mean? There's certain things that, life has added on to me that is not good. You know what I mean? It's not a good habit. It's not a good characteristic. It's just different things. We really need to self-evaluate and see where we can do better. If God is giving you certain signs, only you know what it is. I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about because you're thinking about it right now. Whatever that is that God is telling you to either go towards or get away from, do it. I'd rather humble myself than have the Lord humble me. I'm just so upset, y'all. I am so upset that this had to happen to this individual that I just talked to about 3 weeks ago. It's crazy. And this is not the first time that I had, God had used me to speak into this individual's life. So, y'all, just life is hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's very hard because most times the hard decision is the best decision. Okay. And sometimes we have to grieve the life that we thought we were going to have. See, we be having our own plans and we're going to do this and we set out to do these certain things and it's not part of God's plan. And we just keep trying. We just keep doing it and it's not working because it's not supposed to when the answer is right in front of you. We cannot let fear keep us from what God wants us to have. A lot of what keeps us stagnant is fear. The lowest common denominator most of the time is fear. Oh, I don't want to do that because it probably won't work out or I'm comfortable over here. Your fear. It's just fear. You don't want to do it. You don't want to try. You don't want to fail. But with God, all things are possible. And if God gave you the vision, He'll provide the provision. Right? Don't let fear stop you. Don't let your own insecurity stop you. I'm really praying for all of us. I'm just so hurt, y'all. Please just don't let the Lord, long story short, don't let the Lord have to sit you down. God is speaking. No, He's not going to come down and part the clouds and say, hey, you, stop doing what you're doing or I'm going to get you. No, you're going to be warned by different things. It could be the TV. It could be a child. Or it could be somebody like me who call out the blue. You ain't heard from in years and say, thus saith the Lord. I don't know what He's talking about, but obviously it makes sense to you because what's going on? And especially, my God, especially when there is a call on your life, like God loves us all. But there are certain individuals that God has his hand on, who he has anointed for holy missions, right? And you have to do what he say. You have to heed his instructions. You have to do it, because you don't want God to sit you down. You don't want him to dry up your resources just so you can finally say, okay, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? I'm here. I'm listening. We over here acting like Jonah running from Nineveh. God, look, his will going to be done. Where are you going? Where are you running to? Where are you going? You want to get swallowed up by a fish for 3 days, and now you crying and crying, you crying and praying and crying. So when you're called, there's nowhere to run. And the beautiful thing about it is, it's God's best. But that's it, y'all. Just please take this word to God, pray about it, just to make sure you're in the will of the Lord. That's all I'm saying. Just make sure you're covered, you're in the will of God. All right. But I love you guys so much. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. Love you. Bye.